But Dad's watch just changed to 7 o'clock
Dude, we're-
on the dot.
That's how we do it, right?
On it today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Today.
Dad can't imagine that me and Aaron are this professional.
Yes, I can.
mostly-
I don't think he
it's
can imagine
mostly
that you're on
Jake.
time.
Why wouldn't I? You guys are amazing. So
Aw. Why did you? No, we didn't. We did?
We did. Yeah, I did.
mhm.
I
There it
didn't
is.
hear it right up until now.
You don't hear it just in your right side?
Never mind. They're not. No, I'm good.
You hear it on both sides?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's me.
Hmm.
It's
I wasn't even plugged in. Look at this.
It was me.
It was me.
Just said you were professional.
I did. No, I said you were.
He said you were.
Oh, well, take it back.
Take it back now.
All right.
Take it back now, y'all.
Good morning.
Take
One
it back
hop this
now.
time.
Right, we're starting on time.
Yeah, 7 a.m. bright and early.
Pacific Standard Time.
Saturday morning.
Ira's here with
Wi-Fi.
a twinkle in his eye.
Yes, I am.
So let's just get right into it. You're wearing the racing hat. I saw you posted this week that Emmett got his first checkered flag,
He did.
and now he's downstairs celebrating
Yes.
in my pantry.
Yes. Watching racing videos.
What happened?
You know,
I mean,
he
other
got
than the obvious win,
he
like
pulled an amazing draw.
oil
That's
slicks
kinda
behind
how
him.
yeah.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, he threw some red
Threw some
shells.
red shells. Yeah.
Yeah, got him. He picked a really good draw, and so he got the pole number 1, and he just drove away from everyone.
Started in
And
front, stayed in front.
So it does help.
that, yeah, definitely does. So, yeah, it was
Mhm.
awesome. Nobody really thought that this was going to happen for a long time.
This is that little mini monster jam you told me about, right? Where they bring in all the dirt inside and set up the track and then
Yep.
Yeah,
tear it all down again.
Yeah.
It's pretty
So-
cool.
The dirt's already inside. It's nothing special. It's like a horse arena that they turn into a track. It's loose fucking dirt.
Oh, it's not like Staples
not
Center where they put
clay.
it on the Lakers
Yeah,
floor
no,
and
it's not
protect it
nice.
and all that
It's half horse shit.
over the
Yeah.
And it's
So-
an enclosed building, and so after you're in there for
Oh yeah.
2 or 3, 4 or 5 hours, you're ready to die from carbon monoxide
this-
poisoning.
Yes. Yes. And
Everyone that
Yeah.
listens regularly, like, who is that?
Yeah. So,
It's the
ladies
voice-
and
it's the
gentlemen,
voice of
boys
God.
and girls, we have a special week this week where the man, the myth, the legend, the man whose loins Aaron and Ira
Came
Potter
forth.
came from,
Brought
brought
forth.
Clark Potter, ladies and gentlemen, is in the
All right.
studio.
I'm surrounded by Potters.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we
You are today.
brought Dad in today to share with us some of his wisdom. Of course, we only usually go about an hour and 15 minutes, so there's not going to be enough time
No.
to share
It'll be a mini
the
series.
wealth of wisdom.
Yeah.
And you're far enough away where he can't hit you.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you can say whatever you want.
Oops.
No, but this year at the race, back to the race, we last year that really bothered you. I remember.
Yeah.
And Brandon Reel was like, "Hey, where's Clark at?" You know, and I said, "Well, last year he came out here and sitting in that damn building being filled with exhaust really fucked with him." And he goes, "Oh, well, this year the fan essentially is this big ass like fan housing unit sitting outside the building, like gigantic. I don't know how many CFM this thing is, like fucking 20,000 or something. It broke."
Mm.
So this year it was you're inside that building with no fucking ventilation. So you would have been
Was there
really-
actually ventilation last year?
Yeah,
Oh, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have known
I
that.
know. So it would have been really bad this year.
Yeah.
It'd have been a mess.
Well.
But anyway, yeah, it was exciting. It was exciting getting Emmett's first win.
Did any of the kids race, cousins race, or was it just Emmett?
They did.
Oh yeah, we all did.
Oh, so you got to rub it in everybody's face that he won?
Yeah.
There you go.
No one
It's
else.
got to be worth it if someone sees it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely. Yeah, everyone was there. It was, it was awesome because he had
Everybody
never
was
come.
screaming. Everyone was cheering and stuff. They're really
Yeah.
happy to see
Did you
him.
carry him out on your shoulders?
He wasn't totally down with
Oh,
being
true.
the center of
Yeah.
attention.
It is really funny the way he reacts. He gets overwhelmed, obviously, and so the first
You got a
couple
bunch of people up in
people,
your face going, "Yeah, kid, good job," you know, and he's like, "No."
yeah, after a while, he was like, "Get out of my face." It was really funny, but everyone knows him, so they just kind of laugh and
Yeah.
they know how he is. It was pretty funny.
No, I was struck by the fact that he finished the race because I know that on the home track, he always turns into the infield
Oh yeah,
because he sees someone up ahead of him or they get too close to him. He's like, yeah, I'm jettisoning this place. And he turns
Shortcut.
Stay away.
into the infield, into
Yeah.
the grass.
And there's nothing there to.
So he
that-
couldn't do that at that track anyway. 'cause
Yeah,
there's
it was bermed up pretty good. That's probably
Yeah.
why.
So
Yeah.
now
He
that's how
probably
you
could
train.
have, but
Yeah,
That's how you train him now. Take him to one of those tracks and train him that way.
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah, something with a wall in the middle.
Yeah.
What's new this week?
You know, what was I?
I
what
see
was
you
I thinking?
drove here like a peasant.
Yeah,
No running today.
big wussy, dude. It's been raining for 30 days straight.
I think it's more than that. It's something
Well,
do you
since
have an-
November.
I've been working on the arc. Are you ready to
Yeah.
join me?
I know.
Yeah, we need to start
It said-
gathering up all the animals.
There was
Yeah.
like a record or something that we set.
It was a wettest January, I think, on record or something.
There are
Really?
people who have rat problems.
That's what
my
Showgirls should put
neighbors,
on there.
because apparently the water table is lit. So any rats that live down in holes, they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, screw this, and they're up and out.
Wow.
So my neighbors are having massive rat issues.
You know what?
My
Gnarly.
yeah, we don't.
I have the solution for that.
I got 2
You do?
cats.
I got a really good pest control dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious. He's
What does he do
awesome.
that's different from anyone else?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I mean, it's the first
like
time
Bill
I've ever
Murray
had to
in
deal with it,
Caddyshack.
but
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you, in fact, had a rat problem.
no, I had a mice problem.
Oh, okay.
I had a rat problem, and I got a
Big trap.
exterminator guy thing. Well, it's it's those
Yeah, yeah.
black boxes. That
The
there's like
thing to
3 of them
do,
outside
Ira, what
my
they do
house.
is they bait them and then they trap them too. The bait really works well. That's what I use in Crescent Bars.
Yeah, it's this poison
Gotcha.
stuff that actually dries them out.
Yep.
Like they eat it and then they get like horrifically what do you call it when you're
Wow.
Dehydrated.
dehydrated? Yeah, and
Okay.
it basically dries out their internal organs and they
Turn into rat
Wow.
I'm
jerky.
telling you, unless you're
Rat
allergic, just
jerky,
get
yeah.
cats. It's more
I
fun
wonder,
to
if,
watch.
I wonder if
Yeah,
the
see,
listeners
my house
really
is
give a
allergic
crap
though,
about
so.
that.
We got 2 cats.
Yeah, we
No,
talked about random
Probably
shit.
not.
We got 2 cats that both murder and one eats. So
Yeah.
like one of them brings them to the door, the other
The
one
other
will
one eats it?
sit there in front of you and rip the head off a bird and just eat it like a snake does. But
Yikes.
all
Yeah.
the neighbor, we're backed up to the field here. All the neighbors have mouse problems, rat problems. We have 0.
Yeah,
It's
my
like they protect their
I
perimeter.
have a
Cats are
cat.
fucking ruthless,
And-
vicious
yeah.
killers. It's
Yeah,
like
my
that
cat's a
Joe
savage.
Rogan stand up. He
Yeah.
talks about it. It's like
Yeah.
it's like fucking
You know, your
killing machine.
wife, Ira, your Sarah basics, she says you need some feral cats. You know,
Yeah.
your wife.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Barn
And I'm
surprised.
like,
cat.
that
yeah,
You
I
do.
don't know if I
Find a
want
barn
some
cat.
barn
Just
cats.
live outside.
Yeah.
There's a company when I lived here in town. There's a company something barn cats or us kind of thing where they take feral cats, they get them fixed, and then they drop them off in your barn, and they're like, hey, don't bring them in the house.
Yeah,
Make sure
so
you
it's like,
feed 'em.
Don't,
Make sure you still feed
don't
them,
get it twisted. These aren't pets.
and
No,
they
try grabbing one.
they stick
Yeah.
around. Yeah,
You
No,
used,
thanks.
Jake used to have a barn.
It's
I did.
Didn't you have a
incredible.
barn cat for your barn.
I did get. That's where I
What?
got them, and then
Oh, really?
they ran away because you're supposed to keep them in there for like a week so they learn where they're supposed to stay, and they got out within a couple days, and they never came back.
Oh shit.
So,
It's funny how dogs got stupider and weaker
Yeah.
and more. Cats didn't lose any of that
no,
shit.
not at all.
They're as savage as a lion, a cheetah, a tiger. They're just smaller.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
feral dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
incredibly athletic.
Maybe in other countries and things. There's no, but that's just like fast food. But there's no feral
Right.
dogs running
Right.
around here. There's feral cats everywhere.
Hell no. The Enumclaw community Facebook pages, it's all it's
Lost
75%.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Hey, dummy got out.
I found a dog, or oh my God, my dog is gone. I swear to you,
Yeah.
it's the majority. I'm like, come, it's a. I mean, I just at this point, dogs are like, well, you know, if
They're
you
uh,
like
have
rats.
You're jaded though.
Yeah,
You're
I
jaded.
was
you have-
severely jaded.
you
let's
literally have
just
a
say
dog.
people in this
a dog
area
hotel at your house.
are
You're a little jaded.
huge dog people.
When the market-
I was like, it's just an animal.
when the market is
may as well be a possum.
when the market is
Oh.
saturated. I mean, whatever that thing is,
That's true.
loses
Ira's living in a
value.
microcosm of the market,
You got it. All right.
and
Yeah.
and he's got a
It's bittersweet.
got a
dog
dog
market
surplus.
saturation
He's
issue. Yeah.
cornered the market on the hotel for dogs.
Yeah.
He's making money on their
Sarah's making big plans. She's gonna get a separate
Don told me this. Yeah.
permit
a separate place.
building.
Yeah.
She's gonna
facility.
get another place.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here, but that's the plan is to
Nice.
start saving up.
It's going
yeah,
legit.
that'd be
Nothing
great.
like grassroots, right?
Yeah. I was like, well, you can put our dogs over there too. There you go. Win-win.
We don't have
Dogless-
dogs anymore.
It's dogless house. That's the goal.
Well, we don't necessarily have an agenda, as you can tell. But one of the things that we wanted to bring Clark on for was a lot of times we send around some group emails. Some we can talk about, some we can't. But this one was sent around about company culture and having a positive workplace and when the effect that that has on employee engagement, etc. We did a show a while ago about culture in general, just about American culture and kind of what, I don't know, how we feel like people go about their daily lives. But this was pretty interesting. I kind of browsed through it when you first sent it over, like I do with most things. But go ahead and talk about what made you want to share it.
Well, I think that even in the Seattle market, especially, we're a booming economy here, and I think we all would agree that to find good talented people in just about any business, it's becoming more difficult. And I think one of the things that drives that is culture in the workplace. I think people are getting more sophisticated, and especially the younger millennials, especially, they just don't tolerate it. I mean, they don't tolerate a bad culture, and so you're going to have really talented people. I think I was just sharing with you guys a story that happened to me. I'm not going to go into it again, but we're going to end up hiring a young person that is working at a place that they're not valued. There's no, it's not necessarily toxic, but there's just no fun. There's no joy to go to work. People are just in their own little separate, groupies things. And, that comes from the top. And so, basically, I kind of know the organization, and I think all of us probably have been in organizations where, there's just not a lot of attractiveness. It's like, they may want to go out and recruit people to go to work at this particular company or that particular company. And what's the first person's going to do is they're going to start asking, what's it like over there? Right.
Oh yeah. People do all kinds of research on places.
And maybe they know someone that works there, like, what's it like there? And they're like, oh, you don't want to come here. This place sucks, And so it's like the death knell, man. It's like the death rattle of a company, I think, but what we found, I think, in our company, and we've just been very fortunate to bring on some really awesome people. And, but I think what happens is it starts with the leadership at the top and what kind of core values they have. And then, accountability. And I think, to hold people accountable in a good way, and it sets a standard. And so, all we've done is basically found good people with great attitudes and good mindset, because you can pretty much teach anybody anything if they have a great attitude and a good mindset. But you can bring somebody into your organization that may be super talented, but their attitude's horrible, they're toxic, they gossip, and all that's going to do is just be this cancerous situation in your business. And so we've kind of worked really, really hard to eliminate that kind of thing and to bolster the other, which is to just really find people that have some talents, abilities, good mindset, good attitude, and just have them understand that they're part of a team now, and that, you're not working for me, you're working with me, and the other thing too, I think that we've done is everybody that works with us knows that they're more important than any customer that I can possibly have, right? And I think a lot of companies get that twisted, and then there may be people listening to me right now who disagree with me, and doesn't matter. But we don't allow
disagreements on
the
show.
Think people, all of our folks know that if I have a customer that calls in and starts complaining about somebody, I don't believe them.
Yeah, give them the benefit of the doubt.
I don't believe them.
Right.
I believe my folks. And 99% of the time, I'm right. Only one time in 100. Yeah, maybe one of our folks slipped up and did something goofy or whatever, but most of the time the customer's lying. Right?
Well, a couple things about what you said stand out, at least to start with, is it almost sounds like the culture is like a living, breathing thing where, if you don't maintain it, if you don't stay on top of it, even good people that are, naturally that way will kind of turn sour.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the other part of it too is you mentioned millennials and an age thing, and I think I don't know when it changed because we talk about this all the time. Like we were raised by people who you weren't supposed to like your job necessarily. Your job was you're supposed to just go to work. You had a job to do, shut your mouth, get your job done, provide for your family. It's so different now to what you said, Clark, where people won't want to go to work if it doesn't make them feel good to be there.
Right.
And we're kind of in between.
Mhm.
Our age group is in between where like we have that work ethic where it's like, doesn't matter, eat a crap sandwich and go do it. But then we also have that, you know, we're connected to, you know, all the different networks and things like that. So we see the change, and it's been interesting to watch it happen that fast in
Totally.
2 generations necessarily, where work has been completely revolutionary. I mean, in our business, they rewrote the code book last year based on a ton of feedback from that specific generation that refused to read the code book until they changed it.
Yeah, and this business also too is just kind of old and crusty for the most part, right?
We're
It's
talking
like
about the business of
status
contract
quo
killing,
of-
right?
Huh?
We're talking about the business of contract killing.
Of course, yeah, wet work, yeah. In maybe well, I can't say construction overall, but I think, you know, the sprinkler business in general is one of those that's kind of it's filled with a bunch of old guys, right? Or it has been, and then now I think we're finally trying to see it kind of catch up with the rest of the market. And
Granted, we're in
places like Northwest Fire where it's more
forward
thinking and stuff, but yeah, you have these places where it's crusty old men and stuff, and a lot of that idea where it's like, you're not supposed to like your job, who cares, go in and, you know, earn your money and go home at the end of the day and stuff, and who said you need to like it. Jordan Peterson actually said something the other day. Here's our obligatory Jordan Peterson mention.
I was waiting.
Podcast. But he said
16 minutes
people can deal with doing what they're supposed to do and not necessarily being rewarded for it. It's like, it's not ideal. It's like the best situation, obviously, it's when someone does something good, they get positive feedback, and then it gets better and perpetuates itself. But what people can get by without all that positive feedback and stuff for the most part. What they really cannot do, and what's absolutely a killer to your culture, will be where people do the right thing and they're fucking punished for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
that's a double
That's a
whammy.
horrible. So
Because you'll do it once or twice,
yeah,
and then you
and
won't
it's like
do
when
it
you
again.
talk about this young lady that you found that you're going to hire and stuff, like that's where I don't know for sure, but that's the kind of, I get the feeling that when someone is that quick to jump ship, that's the situation they're in. It's like, not only do I not get recognized,
And
for
that's the truth.
amazing things I'm doing, but they're fucking pricks to me constantly.
Well, that's the thing. And so that was the straw, I think, that broke the camel's back for her, because, and here's the other interesting thing to say, to go back to what Jake was saying about being an organism. I believe that's so absolutely
the company
true.
being a living,
Yes. I mean, and the health of that, it's just like your body, you know, I mean, if you take care of it, it's going to take care of you. Right. So your business, I mean, you take care of it, it takes care of you. And so it's not luck or anything like that. I mean, it's work and it's investment and it's making people feel valued. Right. And so, but what's really interesting when you go back to where you guys were saying, you know, people put up with things for years and years and years. This same organization where I'm taking this person from, there are guys who've been there 25 years, 25 years, right? And they're miserable too. And they make everyone else's life miserable. But here's the thing. So here's the thing. So
I can feel
that.
I feel that.
What we've really found just astounding, because we've made offers to other people in that organization, right? Is that here's a young woman that in 6 months has figured out what the Kool-Aid drinkers haven't figured out in 25 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's almost like
being too close to the problem.
Well, we attributed it to, and we all know this happens, where you're in a marriage and you have an abusive spouse, male or female, and they will not leave them.
Yeah, Ira.
Or they leave them and they go back to them.
Yeah.
And it's just like this sickness. It's almost like
he said he's going to change.
I don't know if it's a self-image issue or confidence, or you can't think you can do better. I think, whatever it is. But I mean, I see the same thing in organizations, in people their work lives and stuff that
super similar.
They do that.
All
right?
the same reasons, right? Like maybe
you just shake your head. I mean, I've had people
say self-esteem. Yeah.
give me their
deserve this
word.
shit job.
Yeah.
Just like I deserve the shit
Right?
marriage, and yeah,
I've had people give me their word,
yeah.
sign
I'm
the
coming.
contract,
Starting Monday.
sign the offer, and then all of a sudden they ghost me.
That's weird. That's a new thing.
So
that's a new
so
thing.
here's
Totally.
it's
Nobody did that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
but here's the thing, right? And so then because they think, oh, they always are. I tell people all the time, they're gonna come at you with a counter.
Mhm.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Every
That
time.
doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I think it does.
It's the guilt. They
It
come at
does
him with
matter.
the guilt too.
Well, it's but then all of a sudden they ghost you, right? And then the deal that they were supposed to get didn't come.
Yeah.
Well, then they
come-
start
Ooh.
calling and they start texting you and they text your folks.
Oh,
What
that's
is so and
awkward.
so? What does Clark think about me? And they're like, Clark doesn't think about you, dude.
Yeah.
You
dead.
blew it.
You're dead. to
Clark's
him.
like
Okay.
Clark's like the bookie watching the odds just go down.
You burned your
Erasing and
Yeah.
erasing.
you burned your ship, dude. Sorry,
You're not
that ain't
worth-
coming.
Not worth
That ain't gonna sail.
$27.50 an hour anymore.
That's not gonna sail. So, because here's the thing, right?
So those 6 digits are now 5.
If someone cannot, especially I don't care if male or female, if you cannot keep your word,
Yeah.
then you are not trustworthy. And that's part of our culture and part of our organization is that we all trust each other. And if you don't have trust, I mean, what's 99% loyalty?
100% disloyalty.
That's right. And you know, people go, that's bullshit.
Drop it.
It's like, oh, really? Ask your wife if you could be 99% loyal and see what
Yeah.
she says.
I'm 99%
Ah,
faithful,
yeah.
baby. Wait,
No. Ain't gonna work, is it?
no.
Oh, so
You have to talk to your wife.
Yeah, I mean, you should every once in a while, Jake.
You don't just leave notes. Okay.
As long as they're nice.
No, that is interesting though, because that same characteristic applies whether it's a workplace or whether it's
Totally.
a relationship or a friendship or whatever.
Well, to take things even to the next level, it's like you talk about the ghosting thing, right? It's like it's one thing for somebody to be wavering, waffling, whatever, and not stick to their word, or they change their mind, right? It's like you could kind of see that. It's like, all right, maybe you're still kind of a weirdo and stuff, but to not face that issue head on
Right.
and be able to pick up the fucking phone and go, Clark, here's the deal. I'm gonna level with you. I got this other offer.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing.
That's a weird, yeah.
Just to be like, and shirk away and quote unquote ghost somebody, not pick up the phone, hide from the situation. That's just
I just want to hunt.
pathetic.
I want to hunt them down
Yeah, it's pathetic.
and
on
drag them
so many
behind my
levels,
truck
yeah.
with a log chain for a mile.
And that's the
you
thing
know?
where I don't like.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Is that too violent?
I
then
don't-
they'll take the
Didn't
job.
think you were gonna go that far.
yeah. And then
You're
take
gonna-
their body and cut it up into pieces.
And have a really
Um,
awkward confrontation with them. No, he just straight.
If I can't have you, nobody can.
No.
I don't jump
Yeah.
on the get off my lawn. Millennials are all spoiled.
But
child
that
shitheads
disappearing
trained
thing
very
is new.
often. But yeah, that's a symptom of the newest generation. That's super fucking weird.
I would
But
directly
the people that
attribute-
have ghosted me
Yeah.
are not millennials.
really,
No,
that's weird.
they're older than you.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
they're Generation
So
Z.
that's
It's not even that.
disgusting. That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's
In
bad.
fact, I have more faith, I think, to some degree, in the millennials
Yeah.
than I do some people my age or younger. Okay, I mean, here's the thing, right? This is the first time in history where the older people in the offices are not teaching the young people.
Yeah,
This is the first time in history where the
Yeah,
young
'cause of
people
technology and
are
everything.
teaching the old people
yeah.
because the young people know the technology and the
Yeah.
old people don't, or they don't want to learn it, and so then they just basically go away, right?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Mhm.
That's very interesting. I know we got a guy that we just hired that you all know.
Oh, really?
That, isn't quite. He's quite the old
Ah.
luddite.
Da-da-da-da-da.
So I'm having to show him how to. This thing isn't working at all. So
I know.
And
That's a shit show right
Alicia,
there.
oh my god, I call. So there's this gal at the office.
Did you just do what I think you did?
Her name is Alisa.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to get her name right, and I think it's funny because I always kind of sit right next to her and stuff, and she's off in the corner. She's an admin, and everyone's always like, "So Alicia here," or they call her Alicia, or they. So then it's my joke to always, on purpose. She knows I know her name, but I fuck up her name just to be
Like
funny. about it.
Carol and Cheryl.
So I'm like, "Hey, Eliza, I need the printer isn't working or something like that." And she's like, "Oh, very funny."
I'm sure it's funny every time.
But anyway, so I just fucked up her name. Like, yeah, I know, right? She's probably like,
She's
"This
like, oh,
fucking
here we
guy."
go again.
Jeez.
But she was like, oh my God, Potter, I just onboarded this guy, right? Like just
Yeah.
like new employee startup and stuff. I onboarded this guy that was seriously so old. She's
And it
like,
was this guy.
yeah. And I just thought it was so funny. I was like, yeah, I know that guy. I know
It's an
exactly
old
who you're talking
compatriot of
about.
ours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's like, he was like 75 years old.
Oh, jeez. Was
Yeah.
he like 45?
But that's not the
He-
fun part of it, though. It's not his age. It's
his
his demeanor.
Balliness.
But see, that's the
Yeah.
difference.
Goofy.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You can be whatever age if you're able to change or adapt with
Yeah.
Totally.
fill in the blank.
Yeah.
You can be the 6-year-old guy in the office and not be that guy. And you
Sure,
can
'cause
also be
they're-
the 25-year-old stick in the mud.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
all depends on the attitude you kind of bring to the table.
Yeah, and that's why, like I said, I don't like the labeling of millennials and stuff. It's kind of like Dad just said. I mean, there's plenty of millennials out there that I've seen that are extremely conscientious people, that are
Yeah.
extremely responsible people, that show up to work, that work hard. That I see it all the time. I see millennials that work 2 jobs for a while because they're going through an apprenticeship and not making enough money and stuff. I ran into a guy just the other day that works at that restaurant. And I'm like,
Well,
"Holy
here's-
shit, you're an electrician and you got 2 jobs." He's like, "Yep," and he's younger than me.
Here's
Yeah.
my take on it. Is shame is a great motivator.
Yeah.
So
is
as
for me.
an entire generation, if you shame millennials and the ones that are naturally not like that,
Yeah.
will work extra hard
Totally.
to not have that.
Totally.
So we're really making them better people by shaming them.
You
Exactly.
need a mix. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but
Yes,
I
you have.
I listened to a guy that
Shut up.
said, that said that like that's why mom and dad are so important, because mom is the
role
one.
of mom and dad.
Mom
and
is the one who
yeah.
comyour you.
Are we
Dad says,
tiptoeing into misogyny
"Will
corner?
you get your
There we
shit
go.
together?" You know,
Yeah.
Dad will bring the shame train, and mom comforts you after. You know, your dad's just upset. He loves you. It's just
Did
know
you talk
gotta-
about that before, or I think you should just say it again anyway. But this is coming from that story from what's his name, right?
Yeah.
Who's the
So
guy-
Gavin McInnes
Yes.
was in an airport bathroom one time, and he heard this dad in the stall with his
I told you to
son,
keep it clean on this episode.
and he poopy. So the guy, he's obviously pissed at his kid.
frustrated.
He's just like, I can't believe. He's like, you were 6 years old and you're shitting your pants. Unfucking believable. And he's getting his kid. And I mean, he was
He's
mad.
helping the kid out because the kid shit his pants.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah.
trying to take his pants.
Sounds like help.
dealing with this when you're
Yeah.
about to get on a flight. I mean, you can imagine.
Yeah.
He's just at his wits' end. And Gavin's thinking like, oh my, he's being a little much. You know, am I gonna have to like step in here or something like that? And then he notices when he goes out, he sees this guy sitting and the kid is in mom's, lap, kind of, sulking, and his mom's kind of giving him
Comforting him.
and he just kind of thought, oh yeah, that's the right way.
balance.
That's why this whole, need family needs 2 parents. That's
Yeah.
where I think that's so important. I mean, you remember how bad I got along with Coach Smith, or how at times I did
Yeah.
not.
No.
He would bring out because he's a typical head football coach, and he would just light you up if you made a mistake. Well,
and you respond so well to authority. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
had to go well.
automatically it wasn't good. Well, Coach Hunter was like the offensive coordinator,
he was mommy.
quarterbacks coach, and he would come every time he would come in afterwards and go, hey, so the only thing he's saying is you can't just float the ball in there, right across the middle, trying to get over those linebackers. It's going to get picked off with a free safety every time, buddy. All you got to do when you pick your window, you rifle it in there. You have some confidence. Well, that's all. All right, you're doing good. And I would calm right down. And so that's that I think that my point in saying that is that there's a lot of these people who maybe got a lot of the shame and not the comforting,
Yeah.
or maybe a lot of the comforting and not the shame. And I just think that causes problems that people don't realize.
Or some people didn't get enough of either.
yeah,
There is an entire, and again, we're generalizing, but there's an entire swath or generation of kids that were told they could be whatever they want.
Mhm.
You can do whatever you want, and they really can't. And so then they
Oh, yeah.
find out when they get to be 26 that Now they have 100 grand in student loan debt because they were told to get an art degree,
Yeah.
and they can't do whatever they
Well,
want.
that's the nasty,
And then they get pissed at the world because they can't do it.
That's the nasty truth that like dad's generation, a lot of people kind of like glaze over and stuff, oh, those damn millennials. And it's like, well, you were their parents. Like you
Yeah.
fucked them up,
Yeah.
Right.
because it was like, oh, let's make sure they all have confidence. That's
Some
the
need
most
more
important thing.
Coach
It's like,
Smith.
no,
and
it's
some
actually
need more
not.
Coach Hunter.
Yeah, I got this wall of this. I saw this one thing. It's this young guy. It was a spoof, obviously, right? And he goes, "I have this wall of trophies. Yeah, it's 10th place over here for my badminton. And this is my 12th place blue ribbon here,
Yeah.
and this is my 27th place. Over here. And it's like,
Mhm.
you give people awards for not doing shit
When you're
it's
told
just-
that you're awesome all the
When
time.
you're told that you're awesome all the time. Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
it was like the hugest. Yeah.
It's great.
you
it,
just
it was a big mistake in public. I don't know. I'm gonna say policy because there's nothing really official about it, right? It's just this whole idea that comes up in society about, oh, we just need to make sure that every kid feels super good about themselves.
Everybody needs to win.
It's like, oh wait, no, that actually was
Yeah.
do you think
wrong
to the
move.
to the company culture conversation though, do you think that there's different industries that would be naturally more difficult to maintain a culture and some that would be easier, or do you think it's just the same kind of struggle no matter where you apply it?
I would think that manufacturing would be pretty tough. Whereas
Because you're gonna have different-
sucking the activity.
I guess let me rephrase it this way.
it's not a fun job.
Do you think it matters the class or education of the employee? You know what I'm saying? Like you could have a bunch of doctors who are highly educated and highly paid. Maybe they have worse attitudes than a bunch of people that are more humble, or do you think it's just a general mix of people and it doesn't really matter?
I personally think that it's, again, what value system does that person have? I don't think age or social, economic, I mean, you can have somebody who's went to college, very, an athlete in school, really, and they're just a complete asshole. You know what I mean? They just do not have a value system. And then you get some guy who's, well, like me, I graduated high school. That's it. Never went to college.
Yeah, same here. And I'm still an asshole.
And but it's like, but I always had a desire to learn, right? And so what I find interesting is that I think the biggest mistake people make in general is they stop learning, they stop wanting to learn, and they stop growing. And so it's like reading. It's like, I became, a real big fan of reading. And, I find people in every age group, but really a lot of people in my age group, they almost offended when I ask them to read a book. And they're like, what do you think I need to read a book? I'm like, I didn't say I thought you'd like to read a book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't need to learn anything more. I mean, to me, that's like the most ignorant statement you can make.
No, it's very ignorant.
And that's the problem, I think, generally. I mean, so it doesn't matter, like to your point, if you're highly educated, if you're not, if you came from a great background, from rich family, poor family, whatever, it's like what's inside you. It's like the old saying, right? Whatever's inside you, whatever's inside of something, you squeeze it, whatever's inside comes out, right? So if you've got character and integrity and trust and all these things that you've either built from yourself or your life's experiences or your parents instilled them into you, that's the stuff that's going to come out when you get pressured, right? If you're a big freaking wussy ass baby, and you've never had to face anything tough in your life, yeah, as soon as you get squeezed, you turn into a pussy, and it's just the most disgusting thing. As I just think it's sad.
Yeah.
More than disgusting, it's just sad.
Yeah,
People
so
let themselves down.
The biggest thing you can do when you're raising kids and stuff then is to try to give them some obstacles to get over, right?
Absolutely.
It's like-
I've got a plan to infiltrate the Girls on the Run thing. So my daughter signed up for Girls on the Run. It's a scholastic program where they go around, certain girls, they handpick them. They basically give them a scholarship, but they give them a grant of because it costs like $200. Like it's all this big thing. So I'm going to become like an assistant coach. See, because
This sounds a little creepy.
So you
still.
say this is
and-
like Epstein territory. You got
It
to
is
dance out of
not.
this
So
quickly.
you heard it here,
I
folks.
have-
Ira's going to infiltrate a young ladies organization.
I have two daughters. This
Make
is
girls a run. Something.
this is it's important to me. These girls, basically what they do is they practice twice a week, and the whole idea is to empower these girls, right? Well,
And it costs money?
yes, I think so. They run a 5K at the end, and it's like no competition, no
For
competition.
every girl, it's 77 cents, but for a boy, it's $1.
So my plan is to sneak in there little coaching nuggets of
Oh, so you're going to be a coach so you can.
it's okay to be tough.
Yeah.
That one of the things we can learn from this and should learn from this is that we are capable of so much more than we think. One of the great things about running is that anybody can do it, and it's up to your own, it's at your own speed. You compare yourself against yourself.
It is an individual sport
Oh yeah.
for sure.
So let me get this straight. It's a group of young ladies and the adults in charge of this group and the ones responsible for
It's
establishing
dude.
what
It's just a track team.
right. But
Yeah.
they make up these standards, and part of the standards is we're going to make sure to take out as much of the
Of the
competition,
competition as
element as we
possible.
possibly can.
Yeah.
So women these days,
That's how
in
you get empowered.
society,
No-
need
no
as
challenge.
as much shoring up and bolstering to try to help them, scavenge for the the dollars that they're competing for against the men, right? Because everyone says there's a salary
Disparity.
Pay gap.
disparity,
There's
pay
a
gap.
glass ceiling.
The gender pay gap, right? So it's like the reason for that is we need to teach more young women to actually ask for fucking raises and not just be like, oh, I'm going to be a nice person and maybe I won't rock the boat and stuff. So then we get into a situation where someone has an organization like that, and you do the exact fucking opposite of what you should be
Take
doing.
away the challenges.
Exactly.
You
Let's
guys
make sure these
remember
women are more
when you were
nice.
kids and I was the Awana?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Coach.
That's
It's like, that's what we
exactly-
need.
So here's the funny
Exactly
thing, right?
what I
So
had in mind.
I was the
God, I
only
did that too.
male that was the only male Awana coach.
And I think you showed up because me and Ira were being little bastards, right? And
well,
we were
no,
like,
I
we were like
partly
misbehaving and getting in trouble. And they're
no.
like,
The problem was that all of the coaches were all women,
Right.
Which
Sounds like a problem.
not. Well, here's the problem.
Not necessarily.
when you've
but
got young boys,
I was like, I have a
who-
position to protect here.
Well, when you got young boys, and boys are different, and so I remember one of them was they were friends of ours, and she had all girls, so she had no concept of what it was like to raise a boy,
oh,
right?
yeah.
And so there,
Night and
but
day.
I was actually the Aaron and I will tell you that our group was not just boys. Our group was boys and girls, probably half, right? So I had the craziest. This is what they did. They said, you take all of the miscreants. That's not the word they used, but that's kind of the inference it was, right? So you can have all the miscreants. They're the troublemakers and all this kind of stuff. I said, great. And there were girl troublemakers, remember?
Mhm.
But here's the thing. It wasn't they were troublemakers. They were competitors.
Yeah, if you redirect
wanted to
that,
win.
Yeah, redirect that.
They
in.
wanted to win. They were just winners. And so they were little assholes, all of them. So, but I'm going to tell you something, man. We absolutely dominated every contest. And it was so obvious. And they were so pissed at me. And I remember a couple of times we'd be in lines. Remember you guys would be in a line?
Yep.
And some kid would shove you and you'd punch him in the head. And so it was like, and I thought it was cool. And so they
Everybody-
would come to me and they'd go,
They're horrified.
you've got to do something. You got to punish them. I go, for what?
This is before concussion.
And they're
protocol.
like, well, he just punched so-and-so. And I go, well, tell so-and-so to stop shoving him and keep his hands to himself. So anyways, it was terrible. I even had the pastor called me and said, can you calm down a little bit? And I go,
that's when you
"I
know
did
you're doing
calm
it
down.
right.
I'm not upset.
You know,
But
Matt-
everybody else
yeah.
was upset,
But
but I'm not
anybody who
upset.
thinks that a child getting punched in the head is somehow this horrible tragedy that we have to, I mean, yes,
Once is good for him. Repeatedly,
bullying
maybe
is
not.
bad. I will
Bullying
say
is
that,
bad.
Yes.
This wasn't a bullying issue.
But a kid who steps over a line, like that's all that, I mean, in society, that's what children are doing. Right?
That is a
that
check
they're-
and
they're
balance in
learning.
action, is what
They're
that is.
learning how
Yes.
to push up against society and figure out where do I, Where do I step over the line?
There's the
And when
line,
you
and you
step over
just
the line,
cry.
you
Yep.
get popped in the nose, and you go, "Oh, there it was. That was the line. I
Right.
stepped over it. Now I'm back."
Mhm.
That's a valuable lesson. So kids who get protected from that constantly grow up to be shithead people.
I was gonna say,
They do.
as
And they never know what
Completely.
the consequences are for a really bad behavior. And your mom hates it when I say this. Probably not hates it, but you never, when you finally you see somebody that gets their ass beat,
Mhm.
and you go, God, that's probably the first time that
I
somebody
was-
ever got his
I was
ass
just
beat.
gonna
all
say,
right?
Time coming.
Or when you talk to somebody and they're just an asshole. And I say to you, I'll look over to your mom and go, that guy ain't never had his ass
I was
handed to
just
him."
gonna say that
Right?
you can go through life and look at someone and tell, watch them
And-
interact, and go,
and I
that
s-
guy's never been
It's a
Little
touched in
known
the
disservice.
face.
fact,
It's a
most people
disservice.
don't know this, but 100% of all those guys go to work for general contractors.
That's hilarious.
I actually have.
That's
I have
so funny.
a really good friend who that happened to him, and told me verbatim that changed his life.
How
he
old
was
was
a
he when it happened? Was
cocky,
he like in
yeah,
his 20s?
20, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like a bodybuilder. I mean, thought he was tough shit, and he was a complete dick.
Yeah.
And
Your
he
big muscles
admits it.
don't
He
do
walked
shit,
up
man.
to something, bumped into some guy or something like that,
Yeah.
and was a complete asshole. And this guy was just like, huh, and whooped his ass. Like, just, maybe I don't think he was as big as he was or something. He did not
Yeah.
see it
Well-
coming. And after that, I mean, he was just like, wow,
Humbled him a little bit.
big time.
Do you remember what the first time you got punched? Because you've seen it in TV, movies, wherever, where someone gets hit and their head goes.
Mhm.
But the first time you get really punched, you don't really know what happened for
No.
the first couple split
Yeah,
seconds.
you're like,
'Cause
no.
it doesn't feel like what
Especially
you
if
imagine
you
it to
get
feel
punched
like.
2 or 3 times, like boom, 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 boom. Someone really
But that
pulls
is-
off
Knows how
and
to fight.
you're
That
like,
is
"Oh,
a
shit."
weird Darwinian, whatever you want to call it, where as soon as it happens and you recognize it, it's like muscle memory. If that happens
Yeah.
again, you know exactly right
What to
then
do.
what that is.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's a weird thing, but
Yeah.
you need it. You,
It's
you
a
gotta.
reality jarring situation, right? Because you think that you're in control of a situation,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden
No.
you flash forward a split second to
Mhm.
somewhere else, and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
not where I thought I was. This
Regarding
is a totally different situation that I thought I was in.
Yeah. So to go back to the intensity, the being a good coach, letting kids know that it's okay to be competitive and it's good to be tough. Watch the Super Bowl. Watch the 49ers defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, that guy's a madman.
He's on the side. I mean, but this is it though. His players, like all good coaches, would do anything for him, and he is the most intense dude I've ever seen, and it's awesome to watch him on the sidelines. I mean, he's just his
I'm
hands.
trying to
I mean,
picture him. I think I know which
he's
way you're talking about.
shaved head.
Yeah, okay.
Like
yeah.
like
he's
half black, maybe.
Looks like a
yeah.
shiny butt plug.
Yeah.
I know the
And
guy
he,
you're talking about.
one way to say it, but
I don't know if
it's
I
just
want a butt
great.
plug that's
You
not
can
shiny.
just feel that energy, and you just
flat
go,
black.
oh yeah,
No.
I want to play for that guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there's a guy that I work with that I tend to be somewhere in the middle as far as the competitive versus pushover, on that spectrum and everything. I'm not too big of a an asshole, I guess, in the workplace and stuff. But this guy, I love the guy. He's a good dude. He's a guy from New York that I was telling you about. Is like uber anything, no matter what it is. If he's playing ping pong out in the hall and stuff, if everything is a competition. And it's like, if he meets somebody, typically I meet somebody, I figure, oh, they're probably a good guy. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They're probably smart, this and that and stuff. He meets somebody automatically, doesn't trust him, thinks he's like, no, fuck this guy, taking his lunch money. He always says that shit, I'm taking this motherfucker's lunch money. It's like everything is a competition. He's like, I'm gonna bury all these motherfuckers,
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
I know it is funny.
But it's like he always wins. So
There's people that are like that. I am very trusting. For some reason, I don't know what it is. A lot of it
which
maybe
isn't
has
bad
to do
because
with
most of the time you're not going to get taken advantage of.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's like it works for you.
right. We never. I mean,
But-
we had it good. I think Mom and Dad. We never had to worry like, oh God, I don't know where the next meal's coming from. We never, we were taken care of, and like Sarah was not, and she's not trusting at all. And I
Dawn
think
too.
that has a lot to do.
Dawn
with
was the same way. It's
She's
like,
like, no,
it
you
literally,
people will screw you. I'm
like
like,
the
"Oh."
refrigerator not being full kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, she
Well,
honestly didn't-
you can't put a credit card in your refrigerator right now.
yeah, yeah. She's just going.
That thing's full, man.
Yeah. So
But-
I think that being raised in that way definitely makes
Here's part of it too, and I don't know how much this comes into the conversation, but as a generality or as a generalization, women go out into the world where half of the world's population could basically
Totally.
do what they want to do to them
totally.
for the most part.
Imagine.
Men
what
go
that's
out
like.
into the world like, if I pop off to the wrong person, I'm going to get my ass kicked. But for the most
For the
part,
most part, yeah.
you'll walk down an alley, you'll go wherever you want to go because you don't necessarily worry about being in check that way.
Totally.
And so I think there's a bit of that, and depending on a female's experience growing up and what they deal with, but
Yeah,
there
it
is
could
a bit
be
of
better
that
or worse based on
when they
that, but
become
yeah.
an adult.
You
It's like,
talk to
no,
your
no, no.
lady about stuff like, and I think about that too because that just actually flashed into my mind, or I learned that, or became aware of that just recently. And so if I'm in any situation where I'm like alone in an elevator with a lady or something like
Yeah.
that enters my mind, and I'm thinking, I wonder what she's thinking, and even if it just briefly crosses her mind, like, here's this guy, I don't know this guy from Adam, he could completely,
Yeah.
who knows. He could be a rapist or something.
Imagine being able to be overpowered by half of the
every
world.
single day of your life. That's how you
Yeah.
go and walk throughout the world. Is you just kind of like you're looking over one shoulder. That's insane.
Or wondering what people's intentions are.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I'm not
so automatically
saying that I'm any better than anyone else, but I do
Oh, not today.
know that I'm better in a lot of ways.
turning over a new leaf.
I recognize that whenever I'm around women, especially at the workplace.
Oh, totally.
And so
And there
I've
are other
told
guys in the workplace that do not.
that don't yeah, and I've
You're
told
going, dude.
I've told my
it's
apprentices,
inappropriate.
every single one of them, I just go, dude, I don't care how awesome you are with the ladies. I'm sure you are. You've got to turn that down to 0. Absolute 0. I don't care what. So
Yeah.
I've had guys be like, "Oh man, she was eyeing you, man. She was," and I'm like, "That's great. I did not notice.
Yeah.
I've just because it's man, you just
That's you.
you
though, too.
talk about
That's an Ira specialty.
yeah."
There's an old guy in our office that's super creepy, and it's hilarious. We all make fun of him and stuff.
Yeah, I just
Mm.
don't understand.
Whenever there's some new girl that we hire and stuff, it's
Oh.
like eventually it's like we're counting down. You're like, oh, where's he at? Where's he at? And then pretty soon he comes slurking around and stuff, and oh, hey. and he does that thing where he gets a little too close,
Oh, that's
and he
bullshit.
talks,
Can't do
Ugh,
that.
ugh.
hey, and I'm like, oh
Mm.
my god, dude,
It's not 1974, bruh.
Yeah, and it's seriously
Mm.
like that. Like you're
Yeah.
stuck back in the day where it's
Yeah.
like,
I had a guy
Maybe-
that was
maybe don't
friendly,
wear a bra next time.
too friendly with the girls.
really? Did you have to talk to him?
Oh yeah.
That's fucking awkward.
Well, not for me.
Yeah.
You know me.
That's
We
true.
were talking
Anyways.
about that the other day. We're like, maybe Dad kind of likes that.
No, I
yeah,
don't.
we were.
I-
We were
I-
talking about you the other day and thinking there's a part of that. At least this is our theory. Maybe you can tell us whether or not we're full of shit. But that we look at a situation like that as being like we have to call somebody out in their bullshit, or like confront somebody that's not maybe being honest or something like that. We're like, this is gonna suck. This is awkward. I'm not looking forward to this. And there's a piece of you, I think, maybe that's like, oh yeah, cool. There's like maybe relishes in it a little bit. Is that true?
I don't know. I think I don't know if I relish it, but I think it's my responsibility, and I feel like I'm being a friend as much as I'm being a good employer by taking someone aside. I mean, even if it's not a person that works for me or with me, right?
Totally.
Even if it's just a friend that he's being a complete tool. Yeah. I mean, I'll go, listen, man, what the hell are you thinking? Right? You can't fucking do that. Right? And it's like, well, I didn't mean anything, but I said, well, maybe so. But you keep your freaking hands to yourself, man. You're going to get sued,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to have to fire you.
Yeah, and especially when it's your
So,
company and stuff, too,
just
there's that added
Don't
element
do it.
that you are the steward of your. I mean, we're talking about it right now, right? It's like you're
Yeah.
fostering a culture, and one of the most important pieces of that culture is to make sure people, at the very least, feel safe.
Respect. It's respecting
can't
your
have-
fellow person and
Yeah.
in the environment. It's like that's so disrespectful. Don't do that. What
But then
what are
the,
you, Don
the good
Juan?
thing
I
too
mean,
is
let's-
Yeah.
the employees that aren't that way will see that you address that issue too, and
Totally.
they feel more confident
Mhm.
or kind of
Totally.
renewed that you're maintaining that culture. But
Mhm.
there's a bit of those confrontations though too, where I like it for a split second, and what I like about it is when you look at somebody and you call them on something, all the body language in the world can't cover up. Like you can see in an instant what their real intention is in their eyes most of the time.
Mhm.
And so in that real quick before they overcompensate or put a hand over whatever, there's a flash where there's a really raw exchange of emotion when you call someone out on something and you watch how they react to it, and they're either going to take the like, yep, all right, or they're going to quickly build up that wall and try and dance
Yeah.
out of it.
Mm.
That's that moment that I kind of
or
like.
get defensive.
Yeah.
And it just or sensitive, right? That's the thing. You should, just don't get sensitive about it. Okay. Don't be a big
Mhm.
baby. Just change.
People
okay?
take things really personal, really personal.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very true.
No disagreement there.
Not me.
Yeah, because I wonder, because it's like not only are you're telling them to correct some specific behavior, but it's also a chunk of that. Maybe they're thinking that's part of who they are. And so you're saying, or you're alluding to the fact that not only is that behavior bad, but they're not such a great person, maybe.
Yeah,
And they're going, oh shit.
Don't be, back to Clark's point, don't be afraid to be corrected or to learn. Don't think that when you're doing whatever, when you're going about your day, that you're above reproach with everything that you're
Mhm.
doing. I mean, it's obvious that nobody is. You go out into the world and traffic, whatever, everyone thinks that everyone else is the problem. The narcissism is so high that you got to dial that back a little bit to be able to be, accepting in a
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Go, well, maybe it's not 100% somebody else.
It's like when you're driving and 90% of people have no idea how to merge.
Yeah.
If you talk to any one of
Mhm.
your friends,
Yeah.
they're
They all
all
know how.
Oh no, yeah, I have freaking asshole drivers. But when you're out there driving,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
most
They're
of you,
still
like,
there.
what is your problem?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially when you're driving a motorhome with a 24-foot trailer behind
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You're like, hey,
Yeah.
asshole.
It's called situational
looked over here
awareness.
to the left.
Exactly.
I know.
In 10
Exactly.
seconds,
nobody
and
has
now
situational
the blame's
awareness.
running out, and you're
Right.
out of fucking time. And you're like, oh god, no! It's like, yeah, you should have fucking done that 10 seconds.
Well, they're
ago,
all on their
dick.
phone.
No, how many
Everyone's on
people
their
have you
phone.
rid? And I don't really ride with anyone anymore.
Right, that's true.
I drive. When they ride with me, I can't handle it
Yeah.
because it's
I'm the
like
same way.
I'm driving down, and here it is, right? You're on 405, you're on I-5, whatever, and the exit you got to get off on, and the person you're riding with has no effing clue that dude. It's
They're
like
distracted. They're like,
you're in
I'm
the-
gonna
you're
go
in
with
the
boss.
wrong
I'm
lane.
driving the boss.
you're
I'm
all
driving
the
boss.
way-
Oh my god.
you're all the way in the left lane.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to get across 3 lanes of traffic. Okay, and take the next exit. Now I'm not saying it, but I'm thinking it.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, now they're panicked.
Oh god.
And
I
I'm like,
do
oh
that, but
shit, I
do it
got to
on
get over.
purpose
I'm
'cause
like,
I wanna
yeah,
drive.
you needed to get over a mile ago.
I want to drive as long as possible in the HOV lane and pass all those people, so I do it on purpose. but
Mhm.
that's
You're one of
different.
those guys.
It drives Don
You're
nuts.
part
too.
of
the You know what I
Are you
do?
gonna get over? I'm
The
like,
guy
yeah, I got
that-
time.
that-
And I just
it says like a mile ago,
There.
it said,
Yeah.
left lane ends.
miles a long time.
And you're that asshole that comes all the way flying up. And
no, I
then
don't do that.
jams his ass in front of me or somebody in front
I
of me.
don't do that.
Dude,
That's
I
where
want
draw
to
the
pull
line.
you over and kick
Yes.
your butt.
So
That
I'm
is an asshole move. I don't do that.
I'm from
That's
California. We invented diving across 6
Oh,
lanes
man.
of traffic to get off the freeway. That was
Yeah.
before
No.
cell phones.
No, it's I'm trying to be efficient. That's everything I do is all based in efficiency. Like
Sure.
I think I've mentioned this before when I go and I drop the kids off at school, right? And there's a lane and it goes all the way around this curb and there's a hatched area where you're supposed to it's a designated place to stop and let your kids out the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Damn it. And these people pull up kind of slowly. It's like, okay, first of all, I got places to go. Fucking drive a little faster.
Exactly.
And then
No-
they pull up and
No
this is
sense of urgency.
This is why we're friends right
the
here.
No sense of
hatched area
urgency.
goes, yeah, it's like, okay, there's an efficient way that we could all do this.
This makes
First
my
of all,
heart feel good. I love this.
if people shortened up the distance between you and the car in front of you to maybe less than 5 feet,
Yeah.
we could all get in here a little quicker.
Mhm.
But their little
Get out.
snowflakes won't get
But then
through.
they also get all the way around, and their hatched area extends out in front of them by another 20 feet or so. But no, they stop there. And then they open their doors, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is not efficient. This is not efficient. This is not efficient. There's 20 more feet. Pull your fucking car up there and let your little princess out of the car up there, right? But they pull up where the curb drops down and stuff. And so it's like, oh, this is the best place because my kid won't trip on the curb. I don't know what they're thinking.
it
Yeah.
is.
It's like
They're not thinking. It's
They're- yeah.
situational
Everybody
awareness.
pulls
They
up,
don't have that.
everybody opens their doors at the same time. Kids get out. People get the fuck out of there. And then the next group of people come through efficiently, open their doors at the same time. It's like this all could run so
But see, this
no,
is
people are like-
this is where the generation and the age doesn't matter. This is a societal cultural thing
Yes.
because
Mhm.
in society there no one exists but them in that moment.
totally.
They come into that situation, advertising culturally, everything tells them it's all
Yes.
about you. so they don't have to take the time and worry about anybody else around them
Mhm.
because their little ecosystem is all that's important until the van closes, the kid goes away. Now they're on to the next little situation where they're the most. It's a
speaking of
weird level of
driving and
narcissism.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Completely. It's like I will honk at somebody
Yep.
in the road if they do something like that. That's like obviously, if
Yeah.
this is a thought out, I'm going to be a prick kind of a situation.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you being a prick?
Or
If
not
somebody-
thought out, but
Or it's a knee jerk thing. It's just
Yeah.
so ingrained in you, they're just automatically a prick all the time. If somebody does something where they honestly make a mistake, right? It's like people have done that where they
Oh,
cut
yeah.
me off, and it's like I know that they just didn't see me. I mean, yeah, you should probably look in your blind spot, dummy. But they do something and they cut me off or something. It's like I slam on my brakes and they get over. It's like I don't feel the need to, hey asshole, you
Yeah.
know. But there are plenty of people out there that do that.
Yeah.
It's such a
That's a
weird
They
narcissism
different-
do it
too.
to
It's a
me
different dichotomy.
in
It's
my
like,
van
oh yeah,
Yeah.
when they're chilling in my blind spot and I come to get over and they are fucking pissed. And I'm like, I
I've
don't
been
have any
here.
windows.
Yeah.
You prick. I
Yeah.
can't even if check
Yeah.
my can't see my blind spot.
Totally.
Like, what is your problem? You know, if
I
ever
know.
think about like, oh,
No.
gee,
I never honk
Again,
at
it's
people
all
that make
about
mistakes,
them
like
and their
whatever.
moment. It's just like being behind someone who is obviously on their cell phone.
Mhm.
You're in a turn lane,
everybody.
right? And the light turns green,
Everybody.
and they're sitting there. I blow the horn.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, if people
I've
ever
been that guy
visited New
too, and
York
I feel
City,
like a shithead.
New
I'm like,
York
oh.
City, your horn is probably
It's like a hello.
more useful
Uh-huh.
almost than your steering wheel.
oh yeah,
No one waits for no one in New York,
It's
man.
like
if you're not
ships.
moving
It's
in
like-
like a microsecond, you got a horn blowing on your ass.
If people are in the turn lane, right, a turn only lane, which is you got the right arrow and the light's red, but you have a free right turn as long as nobody's coming and stuff. But there's some people are so, I don't know what it is, just petrified of driving in general that they'll
Yes.
sit there and they kind of, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
maybe some poor old lady or something like that. But I politely tap the horn a little,
Mhm.
a couple of times, beep beep, beep beep.
To where
beep,
almost
beep,
the first
like,
time you
hey,
hit
guy,
it doesn't
hey,
make a noise.
You can go
Yeah.
now. Go. Let's go. Let's be efficient.
You know what I
People are trying
learned?
to get
It's just
places.
like the circles,
The roundabouts.
the roundabouts.
Oh, I love
Ooh,
those.
yeah, it's like
God, I
you
love
that
them.
gotta just go.
communistic freaking
You
roundabouts.
got to just go.
okay?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a
So-
hammer and sickle, doesn't it? When you think about it.
Exactly. They have them in Europe, so we need them here.
Yeah.
What a bunch of
Shaped like
bullshit.
a hammer and
Everywhere.
sickle.
No one knows how to navigate.
Yeah.
a
I love them.
traffic
If
circle.
they're used right, I love them.
It says yield.
Yeah.
It doesn't say stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yield.
Yeah.
So I've been behind someone and there's no one coming,
And they stop.
and I
Yeah.
blow my horn. I'm right on them, that big Dodge truck, and I'm like,
You need to get an air horn,
And
like a
I-
train
Yeah.
horn.
Some
Yeah.
days are better than others, and some days aren't so good. I'm screaming
More
at them, you
patience,
get the
yeah.
heck out of the way. You know what I mean? It's like they can't hear
no.
me.
Speaking of New York, I took statistics my first year of college, and one of the students that was there
I became a
went to
statistic
New
my first year
York.
of college.
Aaron almost did too.
He went to New York on a vacation, and he decided to do, because we had to do a real life statistical project. He did his on the amount of time that it took New Yorkers versus Washingtonians to hit their horn when they
the
were
light
annoyed at
turns green.
somebody. And it's so funny because it was, let's just say, statistically significant, as
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's legitimate.
Mhm.
That is not just something that people kind of think, urban legend. Yeah, people in New York have, dude. I remember it being so low. It was like 0.8 seconds. Like they're like,
no,
that thing goes
patience.
and they don't see your car
No.
move right
Yeah.
now. They're like, beep, move your ass.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
go.
This is also not the Pacific Northwest. It's the passive aggressive Northwest.
But you know the other
That's
thing
for
about a
sure.
horn, they're highly irritating.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you remember it or not. We went to Disneyland that time, and with you and your family, we were.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean, when
And so
just
Dawn,
recently,
I had
yeah.
picked up Dawn, and we were in this rental car, and everyone was like baked in a squat trying to get out of the parking lot. I mean, people are just being ridiculous. So you know what I did? Because the guys at the gate were being ridiculous too. I just laid on my horn. I just fucking laid on it. I thought Dawn was going to crawl under the dash.
Oh, yeah, she did.
She was
tell
like,
me that.
and she was like,
"That's crazy."
"Eh." I mean, I just laid on it.
It'll
man.
make a move.
And all of a sudden, I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I kept doing it. And finally, those dudes at the gate, they're like freaking out. And now they're starting to. And Don's like, "Oh my god,
It worked.
we're moving. I go,
That's
no one
amazing.
wants to hear a horn. They're like, something's going bad
This is
here.
actually a good tool.
No, you know what I thought is at the school.
They should put these in all
what
cars.
they need. I thought of this at the school. What they need is dad with those the aircraft
Yeah.
guiding wands and a whistle.
Yeah.
And that shit like
Yeah. Bleep,
no,
bleep, bleep. No, not there.
no, beep,
Yeah.
up.
You know what I
move,
found?
Parking nor no waiting on airport.
Remember
drive.
when we went to Vegas
Yeah.
and I got out and did that? I was directing traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Because
we were
we're-
pulling in. Yeah.
We're like, I'll have this thing where, I'm sitting in the motorhome with Aaron and we're in this holding pen. I'll call it a
Mhm.
holding pen. We got there early. We paid the money. We're all going to park together, right? But we have all these other jackasses. They want to get out too.
Mhm.
And so Aaron's talking to somebody and they're talking to somebody else.
If-
And
if
what are we doing
One
and all this
asshole
kind of
goes and
stuff,
jumps in
blah,
line,
blah, blah.
and then his buddies all are like, "Oh
And
shit!"
I said,
we all-"
so-
and that one guy caused so many fucking
have you
problems.
talked
It's
to
like,
anybody? Have we talked to who's the person in charge? That woman right there. I said, you know what,
What
man,
was the
this is
first
a
problem?
shit show. So I get out of the motorhome and I went over there and I said, hi, how you doing? I said, we're in a group. We paid to be on track, Where are they? I said, there's two there. There's two there. She said, well, why aren't they all together? I said, why do you think? You guys have us in a goddamn pen over here. And there's 100 other people too that want to get out. Well, if you can get them all together, we'll get them all in. I said, okay. So she
Challenge
made other people
accepted.
stop.
Mhm.
And I'm out there like
Yeah,
this,
and they're like,
man, waving
"Hey,
people.
we were in front of
Move
them.
there.
It's like,
And
doesn't
so these
matter.
guys were
Fuck
looking at
off.
me. They're like, this guy rolls out his window. He says, what's going on? I go, we're all
Don't
together
worry
and we're
about it.
getting in line.
So we all got in first too.
We all
It was
got
like
in
we were the very
first.
first ones, rock star parking, like all four of us. We're like,
But I
fuck
mean-
off, everybody.
A little bit.
I know that
A little bit of assertiveness though
I
goes a
showed-
long way in those situations.
yeah.
I probably made it obvious to everybody there that, there has to be one asshole in the group, I guess. But I wasn't really trying to be an asshole. I was just like, I'm
No, you weren't
not.
overly.
It's kind of like, that
assertive is a good way to put it.
something's coming and what are you going to do about it? And it's like, I don't want to be a victim. So it's like, I'm not going to be a victim here. So
There-
let's
there's-
go and do something.
I think I know where you got your affliction of the efficiency disease.
Mhm.
I'm not related, but I have the same thing.
Yeah.
And people mistake that as that guy's an asshole. Sometimes admittedly, I'm an asshole. But it's not as much of being in control or trying to dictate a situation as it is something being wasted, whether
Yes.
it be
Yeah.
time, space,
Yeah.
whatever that
No.
is. And so
This could be better.
my personality is to step in and start directing things to
No.
avoid that.
Not
Yeah.
helpless.
And I think that we have this whole idea where we really don't want to get in the way. We don't want to be that person.
It's like a reluctant,
I'm
here we go.
Super just oh God, I don't want to. I want to make sure that I'm out of everybody's way. I just don't want to be rude like that.
Yeah.
And so when somebody,
When somebody
doesn't give a
doesn't
shit
return the
at all,
favor,
you go,
yeah.
hold on a second.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna tell me you don't give a shit about anybody around
all
you.
of us behind you are
Yeah.
waiting for your punk ass because you didn't have your kid ready for school.
That's a sociopath.
Do you know what
Yeah.
works?
Yeah.
They don't have any conscience or no empathy for
I know,
another
like,
human being.
How does that not bother you?
I've stopped at a four-way stop. I've stopped doing the wave. When everyone
you
pulls
just-
up at a
you just
four-way
go.
stop.
You're like, no, I'm
When
I'm
everybody
going.
pulls up at a four-way stop, if there's more than two people at once, I will look at someone and point at them and point the direction they're supposed
Yeah.
to go,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they take it like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm being, and they just go,
I know,
and you don't
uh-huh.
sit because you'll sit there and wave
Yeah.
3 times back and
Totally.
forth.
Yeah.
You point, you go that way, and they're like, oh, and they go, and it
Yeah.
works every time.
You are like clearly on the left. You
Yeah.
pull up to the stop sign clearly well after the person on your
and then
right,
they wave you.
and they sit there and you're like, do you not know the we
Yeah.
learned this in driver's ed.
yeah,
You prick, it's so easy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're
that's
like,
the
am I on
efficiency
the,
thing.
I
though.
swear to God,
You're
maybe they're
Yeah.
so stupid. They're like, am I on the right or are they?
Or when
like,
it,
who's on the right here?
when-
If you go all the way around, technically they're on the right.
yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah,
Or when there's 2-lane highways converging, right? 4 ways, and someone's taking a left, and so they pull into the lane. They should, by law, pull into the nearest open lane, which is the left.
I like how
lane.
this turned into traffic school.
I know, isn't this great?
Hmm.
Riveting. If I'm coming this way and I'm taking a right, there's a lane that's open nearest to me.
Yeah,
There's a lane nearest to them, lane nearest to me. They're making a left. They should turn into that one. I should turn to this one. We both should be able to do that
yeah.
simultaneously.
Take the closer lane. Yeah,
But if try this and just whip your ass out there and take that right while someone's taking a left and coming out there like, oh my God, because they want to somehow squeeze over into that other lane and they think you're the hugest prick in the world for turning in there. It's like, no, we both can do this at the same time.
If I
you're not a
remember
complete
right,
ass.
that's actually a law. You are
Yeah.
supposed to pull into your nearest lane. You
But this
can't
lady-
make a left-hand turn and go all the way to the
This
right.
lady in Covington lost her fucking mind one time when I did that. It was so funny. I'm like, what? I'm over here. You're over there. You're fine.
I've always wondered if it would be a good business to open, because every driving school is like defensive driving.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
always
yeah.
wanted to open an offensive
Yeah, yeah.
driving school that wasn't on a
Yeah.
racetrack,
Right.
and just make the whole curriculum about taking opportunities. Like, see an
Yeah.
opportunity and take it. Be assertive and take it.
You know,
Yeah.
part of the problem though
You'd
here
have one
in
type
this
of
area,
customer though.
Yeah.
we're a melting pot, right?
Oh yeah.
Now listen, I'm not a xenophobe.
Oh, here we go. So we
Okay.
had misogynist corner. Now it's
No, it's the
racist corner
misogynist
with Clark
corner
Potter.
and racist corner.
Clark's racist.
Just so
minute.
I'm just clearing the air, I'm not a xenophobe, but there are a lot of people that are coming into our wonderful state who are from other places that never had driver's ed.
Yeah.
And they may have never even had a driver's license. So how in the world they got one here is completely beyond me.
You turn one
But
in and you get another
there's
one.
that. I think there's a lot of that kind of, you think about it, 4,000 people a month or something like that of moving into
Oh,
this
really?
area, right? And so you just got a melting pot of people that don't know what they're doing,
Mhm.
right?
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
And for some reason, even people from Washington can't drive in the friggin'
the
rain.
rain, the
True.
rain.
Yeah, I know. No, dude.
Well, like Dad said,
which is pretty counter.
these damn towel heads. You know?
I didn't say that.
That's,
See,
that's what I heard too.
yeah, I'm a business owner, so I can't be talking
I'm
like
just
that.
kidding.
Oh.
You know,
There's this one.
this is on the open airwaves. I gotta
Aaron
be
likes to
careful.
put things in people's mouth.
There's this one.
I'm
There's
not
this,
a misogynist either.
right.
Okay.
We have learned today that Ira's infiltrating a girls group and drives a van with no windows, though,
Mhm.
too. So I hope
That's
somebody's
awesome.
writing this down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I have to
This is all
pass
bad
a
stuff.
background check. I'll have you know. So it's. I mean,
What's that going to
this is
do?
Going to. Well, I'm not sure.
What are they going to check?
It depends on how far back they
How
go.
far are they going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are they checking for?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
would
hope
think
it's
when
not
you're
like
involved with youth,
falsifying.
it's-
What was that one I got in trouble for? Falsifying statements to a police officer. That's actually a.
You know what's really interesting about
It's like
that
a
story
gross
is how in
misdemeanor.
the world you didn't go to jail.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought
I went
for
to
sure-
I went to jail that day.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, when I lied to a cop.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know. I remember when you showed him Aaron's driver's license and
Yeah,
he let
didn't
you
to
go.
jail that day.
Oh yeah, maybe
That was in
happened.
Tacoma on Fife.
Yeah, that happened one time.
And I
So
thought
you've-
for sure the cop called me and says, I've got your son on the side of the road here. And I said, oh, really?
How did he figure out
Which
that-
one? And I go, I have Aaron David Potter on the side of the road. I said, and where are you calling from? He goes, I'm on I-5 and Fife. And I'm like, no. Aaron David Potter's in Linfield College in McMinnville, and who you have on the side of the road is his twin brother, Ira. And he goes, really?
You sell out.
You
I
sold
can't
him out.
believe-
Really? So here's the deal. So here's the funny part, right? He goes, yeah, okay, well, thank you. I said, so I thought to myself, Mary
This isn't
goes,
good.
who was that? I said, it's a cop. The guy's Ira on the side of the road. The light wasn't working or something like that. He's taking some girl home to Gig Harbor or whatever it was, right? I thought I would get a phone call. So I think I did get a phone call, or I talked to you later. And I go, where are you? I'm in Gig Harbor. I'm like, what? That guy let you go with a not your own license? He goes, yeah. He says, I told him I was really felt bad. I needed to take this girl home, and he let me go. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, there are
insane.
good cops out
Oh
there.
my God. So that's when I really thought that would happen.
I'm
but-
so disappointed in you. So I've given him a hard time for years about like I'm not a twin, so I don't get to do this. Most people that are twins at least will switch up on a girlfriend once. And I've shamed them over the years mercilessly for never taking that opportunity. But you do it with a driver's license.
I
Yeah.
switched up. I switched
Yeah.
up on the government.
Why'd
didn't-
you say you were him? And why'd
I
you have his
didn't-
license?
I did
His-
not want
His
to go to
license was
jail.
suspended.
I did.
Oh,
my
okay.
license was
I
suspended.
was like, why can't you tell him who you are?
So
I
he
know.
was visiting in Oregon and stuff, and he was like, and we hatched up this ironclad plan, swap IDs, problem solved, right? This could never fail until that happened. And it's like, I still for the life of me can't figure out
I
how
didn't-
the cop
well,
got suspicious. And
I
why would you
didn't-
be suspicious?
I think that happened. We did that
maybe
years
because you had
before.
Washington plates and I had an Oregon license or something.
Maybe, but I don't
Yeah.
think that I
Probably.
had. That day I didn't have your license. I said I
Oh.
didn't have mine, right? And I
Oh.
had it in my
But you sure as shit weren't gonna
Oh.
say
the day that I
"My
went to
name's Ira."
jail,
Yeah.
I had it in my pocket, right? And I'm like, no, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, this doesn't add up. I think maybe there's something on our license something about our driver's license number that says, hey, there's another one of these out there. I think so. Anyway, so I mean, why wouldn't there
Guys,
be,
and I
right?
One ends with a
This
1 and one
guy-
ends with a 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it
it's
would
like,
be
wait a
important
minute.
to know if you're a cop and there are crimes being committed that this guy who looks just like the, that there's 2 of these guys out here. You get a
They can't be that organized. Come on.
description. Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway, he finally yanks me out of the car and searches me, reaches in my pocket, grabs my license, and goes, "Huh? So you're telling me you're not Ira Potter, the license that is in your pocket?"
Boom, 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 boom.
I lost my
Church.
wallet one time during that exact same time. I left my wallet at the gym or something, and it got brought back to me. It was turned into the cops, and the cops happened to know who I was, and they brought it to the bar that I was working at. And when they went through it, they found my license and his license. So the cop was like, "You realize you can't just carry around someone else's license, right? Like that's actually illegal. You can't have your license and somebody else's."
Oh wow,
I was like,
That's
I
weird.
would not have known that.
Yeah. So he was like, "Be careful. Don't do that. You're gonna get yourself in trouble." I was like, "Holy shit."
Wow, that's
I
new.
didn't get in trouble, but I almost did.
Well, let's leave it there. That's a good cliffhanger.
How about
There's
that? Just over an hour, folks.
more-
An hour of riveting entertainment.
No misogyny corner. You got to come with a double shot.
I
next week.
got a good
Well,
a good one.
Then go.
Oh, okay. Well, so
We'll end on that.
in
misogyny corner.
misogyny-
corner with Ira Potter.
yeah, in defense of Brett Weinstein.
Okay.
Ooh.
Not
So,
Harvey.
Brett Weinstein is a
He's a professor.
dad.
right?
See,
Hollywood-
now you know why dad is successful, because he has no idea who that is. Now that tells you he really does read books and he doesn't listen to the fucking news.
Yeah.
So,
Who cares, right?
which is good. So this guy's a big Hollywood producer. Okay.
Oh, Harvey
Huge.
Weinstein.
Is it Harvey?
You're talking about, yeah, you're
Brian?
confusing me.
David? Harvey?
I think I'm talking
Harvey
about
Weinstein.
Brett Weinstein is that guy's name.
He's
God
the-
dang it.
you're thinking
he's
about
the
Brett
reporter guy.
Weinstein and Eric
Harvey
Weinstein.
You're talking about Harvey.
Weinstein.
the dude
See,
with the
that's
fake
why I
walker.
said- I'm
I am
more-
successful and I still know Harvey Weinstein.
Okay. Well, I figured because that's
I don't know him personally, but
right. So
Did you see a picture of him recently too? He's like a
You're talking about the
left-
walker.
He's
The,
like a
that
walker.
guy.
Jesus. Yeah, sure. So all of these women who
The
were
guy that ruined dating. I was kidding.
yeah. who were quote unquote raped. If you
Uh-oh.
look now,
I
all
don't
I'm saying
know
is-
if it's quote unquote rape.
He
I don't
is
know if
coming with a
anyone's
good one.
Saying, yeah, this
Go
is,
ahead.
this is
okay,
white hot.
maybe.
This is
Oh,
good.
okay, so these women were horribly they were treated horribly.
Treated poorly. Yeah.
If you look at the stories and you look at the timelines and when all this stuff happened, that several of these stories go, he's trying to woo them. Eventually they sleep together in a very forceful way. After the fact, they accept gifts, go to parties, hang out with him, fly with him to this and that place.
Epstein's Island.
And so and so you're just like, okay, if this was borderline rape, if this is at least sexual assault, why exactly didn't you go to the cops?
Oh, there it is.
I just don't
You
understand.
victim shamer.
This is all. I'm not. If that's what this really is, none of them filed a report. I just don't understand that.
they wanted to be in
they're
the sequel
victims.
too.
okay, so you're talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
No, he's talking about Weinstein,
I'm
the
talking
guy
about
that all the actors
Harvey.
that
Yeah.
took all the actresses.
Okay, well,
and
there's two people here.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
Jeffrey.
He brought that
I
up,
just
and that's
like to give him a hard
confusing
time.
the whole
Okay.
issue.
Yeah.
So
No, you're
Yeah.
saying that they're
I'm saying they were probably
that
friends.
these women did what a
Yeah.
lot of people do, and they used their sexuality to get ahead, and now they feel like shit, and now they want to
Yes.
blame somebody else. I'm sorry, that's what happened. It's no different from screwing your way to the top. It's been a thing forever. It's no different from a
like if
hooker.
Harvey Weinstein was a hot guy, then it wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, sure. Then I don't know. I mean, maybe then it would have been
Like,
like a little more
Joe Rogan
legitimate.
talks about it as if the sexes were swapped. and it was like
Harvita.
a young man and
Yeah.
Harvita. Yeah, it's like some old bag, you know.
If that was your son, you'd be like, dude, you're gonna
You're
be
like,
Batman.
yeah, you're gonna be famous. You're gonna be Batman. Just sleep with the old bag a couple times. You'll get a great
That's
deal out of
horrible.
this. Yeah, but it is a little bit like they're Well, I'm not. I'll let Ira be the misogynist.
Well,
I'm not gonna step in
it's
He
it's
wears it
just,
so well.
it's the flavor
It's
of the week.
convenient. It's
It's the
convenient.
flavor of the week, and these
Right.
these women want to, they just want to shirk responsibility. Do you or do you not take responsibility for your actions? You know, do you or do you not have agency here? Can you make a decision? Can you accept that? And can you face the consequences of it? I again, like Aaron said earlier, here we are trying to get rid of this glass ceiling. We're trying to say that women need to be empowered. I'm sorry, you can't have your cake and eat it too. These are two very. What we're trying to say is, well, I mean,
I wish I had a crickets button.
he talked.
Yeah.
He talked them into
You're on
it,
your
and
own,
blah blah
man.
blah. It's like, dude, you've got to stand up, have some guts, have some balls.
Keep doing community theater for a while.
Yeah.
You don't need to be in a blockbuster movie.
or
Have
be
some courage.
successful
Have some
and
courage.
step out there and say,
Have some courage.
"Yeah, suck that dick.
Yes.
Do it again."
Exactly. Say, yeah, you know what? That's what I did. You got a problem with that? You know, that would be refreshing. Be like, yeah, his freaking junk was nasty.
To be the
I don't think
diplomatic
he
one.
showered in 3 days. I'm grossed out. He's disgusting, but he already gave me a movie deal. Can't sue me for saying that. But yeah, I did. What do you want from me? That would just be, but instead it's I'm the victim. It's like, well, damn it.
I think there's a perfect storm there. And granted, everything that's come since then has been there's different shades throughout all of the whole Me Too thing has
Oh my
different
God, yeah, all
different
the way
levels.
to-
But I think what started it, and I'll try and be diplomatic here, is I don't think any of us have ever been in a position where someone was in power over us and offered that as a way through. I probably would take it too.
Yeah.
The other thing is you're dealing with a group of people who want to be in movies and who have a weird lack of they have that desire to be seen. They have that unquenchable desire to be famous or to have their face up. So this is an obstacle in the way. And granted, it's not an ideal situation, obviously,
And you're young
but
and
it's not
stupid.
completely foreign to you.
Mhm.
And this huge pot of gold, or whatever you want to call it, potentially lies on the other side of that. That is such a hard thing to walk away from. And because you're so fragile and you want to stay in that spotlight, once you get it, you're not going to go call the guy out because there's going to be other opportunities that come up later where you can do that. That's my 2 cents.
Sure. It feels to me like there's this air of, well, she's a woman, you know.
I
What are you-
don't
what are you gonna
understand someone
do?
not saying something about it for years and years. I don't understand that,
Mhm.
but I keep having to tell myself I've never been in that situation. I don't know what it's
Very
like
true.
to try and
Mhm.
Jim Carrey with the toilet plunger and forget about something.
Right.
I don't know what that's like. Maybe I could. Maybe it's a personality thing, but
Yeah,
you're on your own there.
I guess so.
Thanks for coming hard with it, though.
This week's Misogyny Corner brought to you by Oil Valet.
Oil of Olay.
1/4
Bye.
moisturizing cream. All right, guys. Have a good week.
Peace.
Will you hit that for me, sir?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was interesting.
You said that like it was like, oh God.
No.